Welcome to the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman, along with the Rubi Nicholas.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Ruby. I've known Ruby for a very long time. Take us back probably about 28, 29, 30 years.
15 years. Like 15 years ago when we were in 5th grade, remember?
Yeah, that's right. So Ruby is here with us today. She did a little bit of traveling, and she came from Lancaster. So
right.
I'm glad that you were able to do that, to join us for our podcast today and also our video. So today is going to be unedited with Ruby.
We're going
believe
raw.
it or not.
That's
real
crazy.
Raw. I'm taking a chance with this one, everyone. So Ruby, we're still going to ask you the same question we ask everyone, and that is, what do you want our listeners and viewers to learn from your story?
Oh, from my story, I want people to learn that you are never too young to start. It's never too soon to start pursuing your dreams, and you're never too old to take a chance at pursuing your dreams.
So we're going to take it back to 1987, where you graduate high school. We graduated high school, and you move on to college.
Yeah.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Villanova in Philadelphia area, the suburbs.
And your major was?
I've had a lot of majors. I had some issues choosing. So I ended up with enough credits for 5 minors, which were math, dramatic arts, sociology. I'm trying to think of that. Theology, surprisingly.
Wow.
Something else. And there's another one in there. But I had enough credits for stuff, but I just graduated with a general arts degree at that point.
So upon graduation, and by the way, I have to rewind and say that Ruby she beat me out as the funniest person in high school.
I can't claim that
You
one.
have to.
You think?
She's
Oh.
much quicker on her
Thank
toes
you.
than I'll ever be.
Thank you.
So, and Ruby.
That's funny you said quick on your toes, though, because you were the runner.
I was.
So
yes. But
I only run when chased.
You brought a lot of laughs to a lot of people in high school and beyond. So upon graduating from college, then we move on to the next phase in life, which is?
Yes. Then I got my master's degree in occupational therapy, like a good Pakistani girl. I entered the health sciences. And then I lived in and around Philly for a while, about 15 years. I lived in Center City for 10 years. And then I got married, moved out west. I started working. Oh, actually, then I got another master's degree because sometimes I go back to school when I'm bored. And I ended up with 3 master's degrees by the time I was done, and 2 kids and a husband. And my last degree was an MBA in management information systems because someone had to round out the computer end of our degrees because my older sister's a doctor, my younger sister's a lawyer. I had an MBA, but we were still missing someone who had a tech thing, so I had to get that.
Of course.
So anyway, so my mom's very proud that we figured out the square of technology and medicine that is all Pakistanis.
And Dr. Wahab. A little shout out to Doc Wahab today. And the funny thing is that it doesn't seem like all of those years have gone by. You've accomplished so much. And aside from your education, your family, your children, you've accomplished something else. You've been on television. You get up there on stage. And that's the part that when they look at you on one side of this very well-rounded, educated, serious person, there is another side.
Yes, there's a flip side to this coin. In 2005, I had moved then. I worked for a corporate healthcare company, and I moved in 2003-ish, somewhere around there, to Colorado. So I was living out west, and my older daughter was 6 at the time, and the time change when Nickelodeon turns to Nick at Night was our 6 o'clock. It's like 8 o'clock back east. So they're watching whatever SpongeBob, and it changed to Nick at Night, and they said, hey, Nick at Night's looking for the funniest mom in America. Could it be you? And at the time, I wasn't even paying attention to the TV. I was just doing my mom stuff, picking up random toys and whatever. And my daughter was like, Mom, look at this. And she saw me and actually said, you make everybody laugh. You're really funny. You should try for that. And I thought, because it's the same girl who would be like, Mom, your butt looks really big. They don't lie at that age. They're just like, you're fat. What's wrong with you? So it was really funny. And I thought, you know what? That's not a bad call. Because my first exposure to stand-up comedy, I think my very first cassette tape was Bryan Adams, as you know, Run to You. My second cassette tape in my Walkman in 1983, I'm going to say, was Eddie Murphy. And he was listening to it over and over and over again on my little headphones in like 7th, 8th grade. This is a long time ago, you know? And when I was 15, it was 1985. It was the year of Live Aid. And everybody was trying to go to Live Aid. And my crazy dad packed us in a van, Dr. Tavaria's van. He's like up in Tamagua or wherever, I don't know where he lives. And we drove with my dad's friend from India who only ate fish and my 2 sisters and my crazy parents from Pottsville, Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, California. Can I tell you? And I was 15 years old. I wanted to put a knife in my head like every minute of this ride. It was horrible.
That's a long ride.
But the best thing that happened was when we got to Los Angeles, there was a Tuesday night, all ages, open mic night in Hollywood at the Improv. And this was 1985. So do you know who I saw on a Tuesday night? So my dad talked us into the club. I'm 15. Samina, my older sister's 16. And it was like 12, right? They talked us into the actual Hollywood Improv. And they drank tea across the street at whatever coffee shop, right? They're like, oh, this is your thing, whatever, you do it. So I sat there, I saw Ellen DeGeneres live, right? Sinbad. The Funny Boys, they were like those 2 guys. They did that Double Trouble show that was on Friday nights on ABC, like that show, right? Like these guys were like on Johnny Carson, and they were just walking around, and then they were like doing 5-minute spots, and I was like, no way, this is the coolest day ever in my whole life. Like I saw Harry Anderson, Judge Harry Stone, right? Like
sure.
Same night, this crazy, brilliant like group of comics. It was so amazing. So I'm 15 years old. This is the huge like turning point. And then my parents were like, no, you are Pakistani. You have to study medicine or something, science. You know, I'm like, what do you mean? I can't be in like drama club or anything. That's like when you're not allowed, because I'm a girl, you're not allowed. So whenever I do that whole thing, and then, you know, fast forward a couple of decades later, it's just one of those things that I always wanted to do. It was always something that I had thought about, but never really had the confidence, or never really thought about how to actually do it, you know. Turns out you don't need a degree. Like that was like my big hang up. I'm like, well, I never studied it, so I don't know if I can do it, because I'm nerdy like that, you know. So I looked in the website, and at this point, totally, like, I'm not industry. I don't know anything about what's going on. I'm just like a suburban mom that works and is sometimes funny, right? So I look, and I see this lady doing, you know, like a 5-minute set about, like, her kids and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, I'm that funny, you know? Meanwhile, she's, like, a professional, established comedian, like, and now thinking about it, like now knowing, like being, you know, having shows and like booking gigs and doing the thing and like being a real comic now versus then, like I almost want to like throw up at myself, you know what I mean? Like, and just be like, right. Just like the hubris, like that's just the sheer like, oh, I'm funny. I can do that. You can do it. But it wasn't like that. Like I wasn't like ego girl. It was like total innocence. Like I was just like completely like, that looks like something I could do. Because I didn't realize that, you know, no matter what's going on television, there are professionals, right? There are always like pros lining up, and there are management. There's management involved, and agents are booking special slots, and then there's the sidewalk slots and whatever. So, so it was one of those things where I had no idea. So, I look, and here 2 weeks later, they're having an audition, open casting call, whatever, at the Comedy Works, which is in Denver downtown. I'd never even been to the comedy club. So this is like how limited I am at this point. Like I saw a show in 1985. I listened to Eddie Murphy. I watched comics once in a while. Chris Rock came to town. We went to that show. I went to Jerry Seinfeld, like the big shows, you know, but it wasn't like I was a club girl or anything, like I was going to the comedy clubs or anything like that. Just no clue at all that there was a scene, you know, that there was like a whole thing going on. I just thought, you know, famous people did that, right? So so I go in the day. There's like 50 girls from the radio. They, you know, the radio people were there. There were 2 judges that were radio hosts and one of the bookers from the club. And they were like, okay, thanks. And I went on stage and talked about my mom in front of 3 people, like while I was on stage in the daytime. That was it.
Because your daughter said, you're funny, you need to give this a shot.
Yeah. And that was it.
But it wasn't like something that you always dreamed of doing.
Well, you know, it was like one of those background things. So it was definitely one of those things that I had always thought about. Like, I'm the girl that was definitely, like, I would hold the microphone and do my Johnny Carson interview. And, like, I was always that girl. But it was never like something that I was putting in motion, you know, like that I was really going to try and do, because my people are stable like that. And we have to do our jobs.
When we come back, we're going to find out what happens when Ruby takes the stage after she hears back from them, and also how you and your family have adapted to the lifestyle of being on stage and being Pakistani, and when it's most likely a no-no to some people. So we're going to find out about that and how the girls are doing with you now when we come back on the People Chronicles.